guys, this is Benny the Breaker, and it looks like we are back with a replay that I took from the casted subsection of drop.sc. Excuse me, no, the casted section of Reddit. That would be a subreddit of StarCraft 2. But, hello, is the music turned on or is it? Okay, now it's turned on. Alright, there we go. Let me go ahead and give you an intro to both of our players. I have absolutely no clue who actually uploaded it to cast it, which will give me all the more element of surprise as to who won. Spawning is our Terran in the lower right hand corner. His name is Crazy. WKY Crazy. I'm not entirely sure what that clan tag stands for, but you know, I'm entirely open to someone commenting and telling me why here on YouTube. And in the upper left hand corner is Terran opponent in the blue trunks, DT1 Spark. I think afterwards I'll just call him Spark and that'll be good to go. Yeah. Interesting. It seems we have a bit of a, excuse me, Spark's kind of, oh no, that's not what I wanted. Sorry guys, I'll just fast forward. There we go. Not entirely sure when this replay ends. That's the beauty of it. I was actually a little rushed, and I did just kind of wake up, so you'll have to excuse me if my casting seems a little bit crappy or a little off cue, but here we go. Gas is now finishing up for Crazy, while we do have a barracks from him right here. No shenanigans on the minimap just yet, and both players going at each other relatively blind at this stage of the game. But one thing I'd like to highlight is that Spark's gas finished so much earlier than, excuse me, Spark's gas is coming so much later than that of Crazy. You know, I mean, it's leaving me wondering just what exactly does Crazy have in mind. Is he gonna go with like a reactor double Reaper opening? But I'm entirely doubtful of that myself. I'm thinking maybe a double racks. I'm thinking maybe a double racks into double Reapers would be more effective, but there is a Reaper coming out on its way nonetheless. Seems as though Spark's going with a bit more of a defensive opener. He's just gonna leave some Marines out inside his base. And the first Reaper is about 15 seconds away from finishing. We do have a factory on the way now for Crazy, which means he's going for a 1-1-1 opener. And just now we have a factory coming from Spark as well. So here we go, Crazy. What do you gotta do here? Meanwhile, behind this, we actually have Crazy cranking out more Reapers, and let's see, Spark is actually going for, I don't know, he's getting out some more what's the word I'm looking for? Marines. I almost said riflemen. Marines, yeah, riflemen, yeah, command center, or excuse me, command and conquer. Anywho, looks like that Reaper will be chased away for just a moment, and it won't be going in to get any harass done, but let's see just what kind of a read, what kind of a visual he had on Spark. You know, I mean, like, he's got a factory here and that's about it. And this is interesting. We have a factory, a barracks, 2 Reapers out on the map. Okay, now we got the starport going down. I was going a little nuts just trying to figure out what Crazy was trying to do. But it looks like now we finally have a tech lab, and that signals to me that, you know, there's really 2 routes that we can see, huh? Yeah, there's typically 2 routes that we can see a starport with a tech lab on it go with. One would be a Raven, and the other one could be just, you know, simply going with a Banshee, but reminiscent of, say, what's the word I'm looking for? Anything that is reminiscent of the Weeks of Liberty days is a little bit dangerous to go with. I don't quite know how else to say it. I mean, there it is. We have a Banshee in construction, but we actually have a supply block for Spark. Excuse me, for Crazy right now. He's so far away from getting that. That supply depot actually finished. Both players just kind of, I guess you could say, turtling, but this, I think, oh my god, Spark! I'm sorry, he's doing something that Lucifron did during the IEM, excuse me, not the IEM, but the WCS EU qualifiers, and this is not gonna be pretty, to say the very least. These Marines coming in just to push out, and, you know, I'm thinking Crazy knows that something is definitely up now. This looks like it's an all-in. It's reminiscent of an all-in, at the very least, to say the very least. When the Thor and the medevac arrive, yes, there it is. We're actually going to see the Thor. We're going to see drops in the main of our red Terran to actually, you know, like, that's going to totally tear him up. That's going to completely distract him. It really will. And the question is, will Crazy be able to hold here or not? We have full-blown aggression coming from Spark right now, but I mean, Crazy is opting for an Expo at the same time, and there's a forward scan being initiated by Spark. He's like, okay, I'm gonna go in and get some SCV kills. Get me some SCVs. That's just the way it is. And at the same time, we have Banshee from Crazy going out, trying to get some worker kills, but I think, you know, with what we see here, it's just going to be entirely absurdly crazy if he can actually hold this. There is a siege tank out, but siege tanks don't shoot up, and if we see excellent micro, oh god, he doesn't want to get surrounded by those SCVs. Question is, how many Marines do we have here? This is the most confusing part of the game. 2 Marines are left for Spark, and it looks like, oh, the Thor has this fallen. Okay, now what's going on here? We actually have the other Banshee right outside here. There's enough energy for a scan, but there's nothing here to combat the Banshee. That's the worst part about it, except, here we go, Viking just arrived. The scan goes down, and we need Crazy to actually start microing that Banshee to get it out of there alive. Looks like he knows he's in a good position right now. He's not actually going to run away. And all the SCVs are desperately surrounding this missile turret. This is a free wave of SCV kills. Like, here we go, all the way up to 11, 12. There were a lot more that were inside the medevac, yes. We just check and see where both players are at right now. I'd say Crazy is definitely in a very comfortable position given the amount of SCV kills that he's gotten, but now I think he knows that there are 2 Thors that are coming from his opponent right now, and Crazy has to be absurdly defensive to be able to hold against this. Early game TVT, Thor is, I don't know, it seems to be the new, what's the word I'm looking for, the new Hellbat in TVT. If everybody remembers the way that was going towards the late end of the beta, oh my god. Here we go, it looks like this is, you know, this is the real all-in right here. I mean, if we see that Spark does not kill his opponent right here, right now, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Alright, so here we go. SCV is being pulled, and there's very little here in the way of into air. This is all going to boil down to a lot of micro, really, from Spark. He's going to have to get a scan out. That scan will help him deal with the Banshee. Banshee here, it doesn't have enough energy for another, what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, forget that, hold that thought. Ooh, tank's sieging up, and they do get one shot off on, just one shot on Thor. It looks like these Thors are going to have more than ample opportunity to kill them, but oh, the medevacs! Oh, jeez. That's kind of crazy just how massive those Thors are underneath the medevacs. How do you know the Marines aren't actually shooting at the Thors instead of the medevacs? Anywho, SCV is coming in to repair, and this is going to force Crazy into a bit of a sort of defensive economic mode. Yes, he did have to pull his SCVs, and they're not on the mineral line right now, and the one thing that he's only just now getting read into is that his opponent is mainly parked, just parked outside of his base. But behind this we see that there's another Banshee going back into the main, trying to get as many kills as possible, and Crazy, I don't know, like, he's absurdly crazy. He's doing a good job at doing what he's doing. Let's see how many workers he's killed this entire game. 25 just Banshees. And now it seems that Crazy sent all of his own workers back to work. Now, the one thing that I think will be a problem for Crazy is the fact that he does not have a second base yet. Well, he's got a second base. He's got a planetary fortress. Well, he's got an orbital command over here, excuse me, is what I meant. But he can't move it anywhere just yet because his army supply isn't big enough to actually move out. His army count is not enough to quite ruffle stomp what we see from Spark, and his composition is actually not what he wants it to be at. Shit, wrong button there. I mean, I think with Mass Marines versus 2 Thors, yeah, that would definitely fare pretty well. Considering the Thors, they like how much damage do they do just like in a single shot? I know there are 2 attacks for their ground attacks. Yeah, okay. So they'd have to focus down each Marine one by one, and basically that's how that would work out. But it looks like for now we have Spark compelled to just pull back, and economically, you know, playing the money game, he's just not going to win that game. Look at the income right now; it's 700, almost 700 minerals per minute versus Crazy, and it looks like Crazy is opting to take a third behind this as well. Check this out: the income now, due to all the mules, is relatively high. I mean, just check that out. And now we got the SCVs moving out. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not quite sure what that's all about. Maybe he's just trying to get a read into what his opponent's doing. And this is what's putting Spark so far behind. Every time he has to pull SCVs without successfully fully killing his opponent, he is actually costing himself just a little more economy. And now Crazy is sending an SCV out at just the right time. It's going to get semi-surrounded there, and now he should know that this is actually going to be a dangerous kind of all-in, if you will. Alright, so here we go. We have missile turrets going into construction. We also have a Raven here. I'm not quite sure what the detection is all about, why you would need it, but oh, it's not about that. It's about the Hunter-Seeker missiles and the point defense drone. He's actually using them. Spark just says GG. He knows he can't play. He knows he can't go in against that. He's got a Cloak Banshee, and I think he only had enough for 1 scan. It just would have been such a nuisance. It's hard to describe, but yeah. If you guys enjoyed what you saw here, just go ahead and click on the subscribe button. This has been Breaker. I'll see you guys next time.